Hello, everyone, and good morning. Welcome to our live feed update for July 9th. I'm your host, Taran Armstrong, and with me today is Brent. How you doing, Brent?
I'm doing okay. I have to say, though, that I was reminded by someone on Twitter about something that happened during the roundtable last week, and I have to own it right now. That remember, Taran, I made a wish with the genie bottle that Cami would be safe last week when she was going to be backdoored, and you warned me that magic always comes with a price, and that we would probably get a Jack HOH. And I have to say again, the robot was right. I can't even say it. I don't even want to say it. The robot was right. Oh my gosh. How do you
Oh,
predict these
man.
things?
Oh, man. Well, kudos to the person that remembered that.
Right? They sent me a clip of it, for heaven's sake.
That's the good thing about podcasting is that people will always call back your sins.
I'm talking about last week, people. People in the chat are like, but Kimmy is leaving this week. I can't. Magic only works a little bit, people. I only got a little bit in me. All right?
Yeah,
I'm talking about last week.
His wish was granted, and instead we had Ovi leave, and then we had Cam come back, and Jack, and all
Magic has
down.
a heavy price, let me tell you.
All right. Well, we are here to update you on everything that happened yesterday on the Big Brother 21 live feeds. It was day 20 in the house. And you know what? It wasn't a terrible day, especially toward the late night area. I feel like I got some good stuff from some people that I enjoy, and so I'm feeling a little bit better about the day on the feeds yesterday than I have been for most of the week so far.
I am feeling good as well. I'm also happy that some of the people that I dislike are getting a little bit shit on. Sis is feeling used by Jack and like a plaything of his. I can't imagine why you would feel that way, Sis. I have no idea whatsoever.
Yeah. So we started the day with really the main driver of the day, which was Jackson talking to Cami. That was really the beginning of anything important happening, and it really just started a whole series of events. I still can't say for certain like what Jackson's motivation was here. He's gonna claim a motivation later that doesn't make any sense.
Right.
So I don't know exactly what he's trying to do here, but he has a conversation with Cami where he basically just gives her the anti-Bella spiel that they've been, that he's been given by Jess and that they've been talking about in the 6 shooters, saying, hey, basically just outing Bella as the rat. Like, somebody told Jack that you were coming after him, and I don't know if you know who that person is, but it's been getting around. And somebody outed the Black Widows, and I don't know if you know who that person is, but it's been getting around. And so he tells all of this to Cami before the veto ceremony.
Right, and it's amazing to me why he's doing this because, correct me if I'm wrong, but he wants Cami to leave. I know he doesn't maybe have a big idea about what he wants to do this week. Like, if he had a magic wand that can make anything happen, who would he want to leave? I have to believe it's Cami. So why is he giving her any information whatsoever? Why is he not just having niceties talks with her? As you said at the beginning, there was really no strategy to this whatsoever. It was just him stuff coming out of his mouth, just like Bella does. A lot of these people, they don't know how to keep their mouth shut.
Yeah, that's kind of what it seems like. But he certainly is going to spend the rest of the day trying to make up for this, trying to cover it up. So the veto ceremony happens, and the veto is not used. So Cami and Jess are, in fact, going to remain on the block. And this is when a little bit of chaos ensues. I'm not sure when it happened, but I think that basically what happened was Cami, I think, had a chance to briefly talk to Bella about her conversation with Jackson. Something got misconstrued, and when the feeds come back from the veto ceremony, there's a lot of people in the 8 talking about the fact that apparently, so Nick is telling Jack that Cami told Bella that Jackson told Cami that Jackson was going to put Bella on the block if he won HOH, and it's a whole big mess. Sis was there. Sis is like, what? She's crazy. Why would she say that? Sis is is going to take the role of incredulous responses to anything that anybody tells her. Because she's just like, Sis's perspective on the game is, what are these stupid people doing? Playing some kind of game, starting drama. Why aren't they just hooking up with people like me? That's what we're here for. What is she doing? She's crazy.
That's all she does, though, is she has these big exclamations. Sis, I'm talking about. She just goes on about it. Everything's a big deal with her, for heaven's sake.
She's truly like offended anytime she hears about anybody doing anything in the game. So that's all, you know, going around. Bella is then going to have a talk with Cami, a longer talk with Cami about what Kemi's conversation with Jackson was about. And Cami is basically telling Bella she is still, unfortunately, in the cloud of, like, even though Jackson basically was like, hey, don't trust Bella, she still trusts Bella. She's telling her everything that Jackson told her. Cami says, I don't believe what he said. I think he's trying to start stuff. I trust you. Don't worry, Bella. She's just letting her know that Jackson is you know, spouting off about you and talking about you as a target and all of this stuff. And so Bella's like, okay, great. Thanks. And she goes straight to Jackson.
Straight to Jackson. Like, what was the point? Again, let me just back up a little bit and tell you all how annoyed I am with this woman. Okay, Bella, who I want to stand. I want to like her. I think all of us want to like her. We loved her in the preseason. We liked a lot of people in the preseason, but moving on. Anyway, Bella is somebody that we can get behind because she reminds us of some of the great players from the past who are great rat players. However, rat players, the good ones, know when to rat and when not to talk, and she doesn't seem to understand that. Additionally, she could have just sat back for a little while. She was in the 8, the Grateful Alliance, and she was in the Black Widows. She knew where all the pieces on the board were. All she had to do was sit back, keep her mouth shut, not even tell Nick anything, just keep it all to herself. And these people would have been going after each other for at least a few weeks. Now she's exposed. Some people don't trust her. And she is arguably the next personality if a few people win HOH, which certainly wasn't true a few weeks ago. So what are you doing, woman? Stop it.
Yeah, it's...
and that's why I gave her a 1 last night on the freaking round table. I really feel like she deserves it.
Yeah, I mean, she when I say she goes straight to Jackson, I mean that literally, because Cami doesn't even have to wait to hear that things have, you know, gotten out, that rumors have been spread, whatever. Cami watches her go straight to Jackson and immediately knows, oh my God, she just went straight to Jackson. What is her problem? She starts spouting off to the cameras. She's like, what is wrong with this woman? What is she doing? Why is she going straight to Jackson?
Because she doesn't behave like any rational player. Even a replacement level minus player would know not to do something like this so rash and so quickly. It is beyond belief. I am aghast at the bad gameplay, Taran.
Yes, so in this conversation with Jackson, she's basically going to question him about what Cami just told her. Jackson's claim is, Jackson says, oh, you know what? All right. Test concluded. I was testing Cami. I was giving her some information. I wanted to see what she would do with it. It's to see if she would throw you under the bus, and she did not. She was loyal to you, and she went straight to you. So, test passed. Yeah, she passed the test.
I have 2 words, in the immortal words of Julie Chen Moonves: fake news.
Such a weird, it's such a weird thing. Like, who's the person that does this and gets caught like this, and then also immediately is able to come up with such a nonsense excuse that somehow works on Bella?
Because Bella is an idiot. She has got her head in the clouds. She is a fool. She is not here to win the game, and I don't even think she can win the game at this point. That's another reason why I gave her the bad score last night. Yeah,
it's a very, very strange. He says I mean, look, I really respect what just happened. Is that she went straight to you. She's being loyal. She's straight up. I respect that. I kind of want to. I do kind of want to keep her, but can't go against the group, unfortunately. It was just she passed this test. He's and you think, okay, well, this is bad for Bella. She just lost the trust of Cami. Jackson is somehow playing her like a fiddle, but it doesn't end there. Doesn't end there, because Jackson, master manipulator, is going to trap her. He says, I really trust you. We're gonna move in together. Things are gonna be great. And even in the game, I trust you too. And I fully believe that you would go after Jack before you go after me. And she's like, yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I'm gonna do.
It's exactly what I'm gonna do. Right into the, and I don't know if this was an active trap on his part. I don't know if he was just trying to make conversation with her. Yeah. But my God, could she not have played this bad? And I think this was before the round table, and I just forgot to bring it up on her list of litany of sins that she has done in the Big Brother game. So another point that going against Bella here. I can't stand her. Oh my God. Oh, and by the way, the people in the chat who were comparing her to June, and then now you see that June from Big Brother 4 is on Twitter, mad that people are comparing Bella to her. Stop it. That is like comparing David to Swaggy when they have literally nothing in common other than their race. Stop doing that. Okay, moving on.
Yeah. Also, even beyond that, it's insulting.
It's insulting.
June is
She's
way
such a bad game player. Oh my God. Yes. June was definitely a little ratty sometimes, but my God, could she keep a secret when she needed it? And she understood the dynamics of the Big Brother game. This woman is just a loose cannon.
Yeah, June was not really the rat floater. She was mostly just a floater. She was the original floater. Andy was the one that coined the rat part of it. So she falls right into the trap that might not have even been intentional, and she goes on about how Jack is the crazy one. Even people on the outside can see Jack is running things, and obviously somebody needs to take a shot at him. You're talking about the man that Jackson is in love with here. You cannot talk about his bro like that. It's not good, Bella. So meanwhile, of course, as I mentioned, Cami is talking to the cameras, just like, who does she think she is? What is she doing? Come on. Cami is, gosh, she's so good. I love how much she's talking to the cameras now. She's gotten to the habit of just anytime she gets frustrated, she runs into the storage room to vent about it.
Yes. So great. Live for it. And it's really a symptom of the fact that her game is so bad. No tea, no shade. But the reason she's doing this is because she can't trust anybody in the Big Brother house at this point. So she comes to us to bitch about things, which we love.
Yes, I brought it up a little bit on the roundtable last night, but one of my favorites is she's in the kitchen and Jess is just standing there with the fridge open talking to her. And she just literally just walks into the storage room so she can go, oh my God, that's such a pet peeve. I hate it when people just stand in front of the refrigerator, just standing there, hey, other people are in the kitchen. Maybe they need to get into the refrigerator. But oh no, you just got to stand there and look for things. Go to the fridge with a game plan. Don't just stand there and have conversations. Oh my God. I wish I could go off on people, but I'm playing the social game. People still think I'm nice in this house. If I win HOH, just wait. Real Kemi's gonna come out.
Right, exactly. And we're seeing the real Cami right now. This is the real Cami, the girl who can acquit herself nicely and articulate. She is not a stereotype. I don't even know if we talked about this on the roundtable last night, or if you've talked about it on the updates. Honestly, I listened to most of them, but occasionally I miss the second part of them. Not that they're not entertaining, but I got a life to lead.
Your voice is still in rant mode, and you've gone on a lengthy explanation.
I'm sorry. Funny. Well, the point being that Cami revealed in the Big Brother house that the diary room wanted her to act a little bit more stereotypical, I guess is the nicest way to say it, by wagging her finger at the camera and acting a little more sassy.
Yeah,
And
I believe it was like nuh-uh, girlfriend.
Nuh-uh,
kind of
girlfriend.
thing.
Yeah, which like, the only people that really talk like that in real life are drag queens. Like, let's be real. All right.
Yeah,
And
that's that was very, very bad. Like, the diary room has always been a complaint, but that is a step in a real bad direction that I feel like they should be very careful about. But yes, Cami is great. She keeps talking to the cameras. She also goes and talks to Nicole, finally ranting to Nicole about Bella, and Nicole is like, yeah, that's kind of Bella's thing. She's a rat. And this is finally going to... We've been talking about it since the feeds turned on. Cami is finally learning that Bella is a rat and finally shifting over to Nicole, where she always should have been. This is the pairing. This is the pairing. It might be too late, but this is the pairing we needed.
Yeah, it is, and we were dying for this. I know you were lamenting on the morning updates about how much Cami was saying, like, I don't really trust Nicole, when Nicole is the person that she should be trusting. I am hopeful that if Cami is eventually evicted, that she comes back into the house, and they can pick up where they left off. Not that they're going anywhere, but you know what I mean. The other thing is that this is the one thing that's sort of good about the twist, I guess, is that we have a lot of good options. Like, there are no bad options of people to come back in at this point. Unless something gets screwed up by whoever's evicted in week 4.
Yes. All right. So Bella is going to talk to Cami after her conversation with Jackson. She's basically like, all right, Cami, don't worry. Cleared it up. I talked to Jackson. He was just testing you, and you passed the test. Everything's great now. He wants to keep you. And Cami is just like,
not buying it.
No. I am not biting on this.
Nope. I am so glad that she didn't even because it must be hard. You're on the block and you're looking for a life preserver for your game, and somebody says, "Oh, well, Jackson wants to keep you now." She didn't buy it for a minute. I was so proud of her because it's obviously total BS, and Bella's blowing smoke up her butt. I don't know why she's doing this, and not only that. I guess we can get it. Actually, I'll save this rant for a later time in the podcast because I think the votes are there to keep Cami, but people don't even realize it. They're just talking nonsense because of what the HOH wants them to do. Anyway.
Yes. So Cami is saying, Cami says, like, that's not the case. I did not pass this test. He told me in the conversation to keep it to myself, to not tell anyone about it. Yep. And then you just immediately outed the fact that I told you. I failed that test. Bella, you don't realize it, but I failed that test.
She was terrible. And then Bella is obviously caught, and she does the thing, and my mom does this, by the way, that when they're caught in something and they are busted, then they're like, well, I don't want to talk about it anymore. I'm just going to shut it down. I'm not going to fight with you anymore. I don't want to talk. I don't want to have this conversation. Yep. My mom doesn't listen to this update, so that's okay.
Yeah. Well, and you wouldn't have to talk about it if she did. Bella also says that Jackson wants to make a move on Jack. She feels like, no, he's gathering troops. It's gonna happen. We're gonna make the move on Jack. And Cami is basically at the point where she's like, either this girl is stupid or she's lying to me, because that is not happening.
That is not. Of all the people in the house, if you ranked them, Jackson would be the person least likely to target Jack. It is just not happening. I mean, come on. What are you talking about here?
Yeah. Cami, again, is going to talk to the cameras after this conversation. Like, we're just talking in circles. Like, what is happening here? Now I got to go talk to Jack. And so Cami is going to go and talk to Jack, but not much is going to be said here, unfortunately. It's mostly just going to be like, hey, so what's the status here? And Jack is like, yeah, you're still a threat to my game. We're still voting you out, basically.
Yeah. By the way, I just realized who Bella reminds me of. She reminds me of, like, a politician. Just think of a general politician that you may know of, who happens to tweet a lot. And they're asked a question and they just give you a word salad answer. That is what Bella does when she is trying to explain to Cami why it was a good idea for her to go right back to Jackson after Jackson told Cami, don't repeat this conversation to anybody, and then you violated the trust 5 minutes later. Yeah. It was a nonsensical answer that even I couldn't follow. I'm glad you were able to make some sense of it, Taran. But no, there was no sense to it.
Yes. Cami is also going to end up talking with David. I think that she was maybe going into the storage room to vent to the cameras again, but David was there. So she ended up venting to David a little bit.
Yes, she did. And thank God for it.
Yes. And this is the conversation that I mentioned in the roundtable last night as well. It was a little awkward at first. They don't talk a ton, but they ultimately get to the point where Cami is talking about like, I don't want to say the house is cliquish. And David's like, it's cliquish. It's cliquish. And she says, look, I see what's happening here. I can't say anything. I can't say anything to anyone. Like, I can say it to you. I can't say it to other people. And he's like, I know what you're saying. I know it's cliquish.
Yeah.
This, I don't want to put words in their mouths, but this feels to me like they're maybe a little bit talking about some of the things that we've been talking about on the outside.
Yep. It sounds to me like they're obviously talking about it and they don't want to, I don't know, ruin their chance of coming back into the game or being asked back on a season or looking bitter to the cameras or whatever. A lot of things they have to think about when they're talking about an issue like this. I'm glad that I'm on the outside and can say it for them because we know what's been happening and the house has been BS.
Yeah. So she also is going, for as much as Cami was like the voice of reason when talking to Bella, David is going to have that same role when talking to Cami because, Bella was basically like, well, no, Jackson is going to go against Jack. And then Cami is going to be like, no way Jackson is going against Jack. And then Cami's going to go to David and be like, but I think Christy is going to go against Jack. And David is like, no.
Yeah, and I think that's certainly fair that David has it right. But Christy does relate to, I can't remember who she was talking to later on, that she would like Jack to be targeted. But I still think that's something that's in the far future, or at least in the middle future. It's not in the immediate future, and it's not going to help you now, Cami.
Yes, exactly. And it's certainly a better read than Jackson's going to turn on Jack. But it's still, unfortunately, not all the way there. Even though, obviously, Christy was ranting about Jack all week long last week. But David says, no. She is not. They are in a group. David views it as, and he's the closest, but it's still off, and that's why Tommy is in such a great spot. David views it as it's a core group of 4. It's the Showmances, Jack and Sis, Jackson and Holly, and then they have extensions. They have other people that are with them, like Christy and these other people, and so that's the big group. That was what we need to strike at the core 4, and so it's close. He's almost there.
It's close, and he does seem to have an idea that it's more than 4 people, as you acknowledge. Trying to nail down exactly who those people are, I think, is maybe besides the point. As long as he realizes these are the people that are at least working together, then I feel like he would be on solid footing if he were to come back into the game and win HOH, or if anybody else on the outside did, if they were willing to take the shot. I'm still not even convinced, as I said on the roundtable last night, that even if we get a relatively good HOH, and I'm talking like, Jessica, Cami if she stays. Actually, I should take Cami out of it because I do think Cami would do something. But anybody else, basically, Nicole, Cliff, these are the people I'm talking about. I worry that they would pussy out and put like one person from Grateful on the block along with basically like a Jessica from Big Brother 19 situation when she went HOH, like have a target and then put somebody seemingly on the bottom of the totem pole, unrelated to anybody on the block. But in doing so, you open yourself up to the fact that the pawn will go home and the alliance will save the person that you were targeting. That is what I feel like could reasonably happen in week 4 even if we do get a good HOH.
Yeah, it's I'm personally, I just no expectations until Camp Comeback ends is my philosophy here. So that's the conversation with David. Christy is going to end up getting a little bit involved in this whole trying to solve what happened here with Jackson talking to Cami. They still are under the assumption that Jackson said to Cami that he was going to put Bella on the block, or at least that Cami was trying to claim that Jackson said that. And so she's going around and talking. That's all happening. Christy ends up telling Sis about the whole situation. She said, oh yeah, Jackson went to Cami and told her about all these things about Bella. And Sis, as I mentioned, is like, what? she does some bad things. She said some bad things. What an effing R. Why would he play the game? What is he doing? Bad sis.
Bad sis.
And Christy is then going to basically blame this whole situation, the Jackson stuff, on Cami, of course.
Yeah, of course on Cami. Why wouldn't you blame it on Cami? Everything gets blamed on Cami anyways.
Yes, and then blame the whole thing as the reason why Cami is going to be going home. When she talks to Cami, she basically is like, well, things were looking so good until this morning. All this stuff happened. Now it's just, I'm not sure anymore. I
just want to swear so bad, but I won't because it's the morning show, honestly. But I'm just so through with Christy. I really am. I'm just so over her from a personal standpoint within the game. I can still respect the game that she's playing and give her a reasonable score, but personally, she just makes my skin crawl. I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you with these assholes? Why aren't, open your eyes? Ugh. All right.
I'll talk a little bit more about Christy in just a sec, but yeah, I don't get it. They all love her so much. So Cliff is going to talk to Ovi. Ovi kind of wants Cami to go home this week. He's never had the best relationship with Cami. But they're still talking. Ovi is also going to talk with Nicole later on. They're still working what they can. Although Nicole is going to be more focused on Cami as they end up talking more about Bella being a rat. The game plan here is they're coming up with a game plan. Cami is saying, Nicole, I trust you. Yes, this is finally, you're the only person I trust. Yes, okay. Yes. Now they're coming up with game plans. And so the game plan is Cami is going to talk more with Jackson. And she's going to try to spin this anti-Bella stuff. She's going to try and get Jackson to turn on Bella. And this works for Nicole in two ways. It might help save Cami, which, great, she likes Cami. Cami trusts her. And then also, even if it fails, it helps the plan that they came up with a few nights ago where they're trying to, pit these groups against each other with this anti-Bella stuff. So that's the plan. Cami's going to go to Jackson with anti-Bella stuff, and Nicole is going to go and talk to Holly. They do this twice in the day where they basically double team Jackson and Holly, with Cami going to Jackson, Nicole going to Holly. Nicole is going to just kind of bond with Holly some and get some reads on where the house is going. Holly tells Nicole, yeah, we're still not sure where the vote's going to go. It's still kind of pretty vague and all of this stuff. She doesn't get a great answer from her there. But Cami is going to go to Jackson and talk about, what happened and all of that stuff, kind of clear the air. So that's happening there. The game plan is enacted.
Yes, and sorry, I didn't know if you want me to talk. Yes, I'm thrilled about this. I will say that Holly, I'm talking about, not telling Nicole exactly what she's thinking when she clearly knows that Cami is the one going home, and that quote unquote the house has decided that. It makes me a little bit suspicious about how much trust there is there. I mean, even if there was a semblance of trust, I feel like she would tell her, obviously Cami's going home here. But the fact that she's hiding it from her, I'm like, why? Do you not trust Nicole? And if you don't, then what is your reason for doing so? For not doing so. Anyway.
Yes. And so, that's happening. Nicole is going to continue to do digging, though, because she doesn't trust the answer from Holly. She thinks that maybe she's not getting the full answer. So she also is going to talk to Nick. And Nick, of course, is going to just be like, no, yeah, Cami's gone.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is good for Nicole, because then she realizes that Holly's given her the runaround, and that anytime in the future when she gives her the runaround, she knows to be suspect of it.
Yeah. So Christy is going to talk with Sis, and I kind of felt a little bit like Christy's stirring the pot a little bit here.
I got a question from somebody on Twitter who DM'd me, who I've never received a DM for, who was like, can you please talk about what's going on with this odd love triangle, in quotes, between Jack and Sis and Christy? It feels to me, this is them talking, feels to me like Christy is trying to break them up. And I was like, and I honestly didn't pay a whole lot of attention to this conversation last night because I was like, I got better things to do. Cami was on the feed, so I'm there for her. But then I went back and watched this, and I do agree with you that she's stirring the pot here. It's like she was like, she letting her know that. Letting Sis know, I'm talking about. Christy's letting Sis know that she feels like Jack wants her more, as in Christy more. So she's like trying to like, I don't know, humiliate Sis by saying, well, he obviously wants me more, but you can have her. You can have him, girl. Like, I'm not interested in it. And I'm like, I don't understand why she's doing this. Maybe she thinks that she's just being honest, but it comes off as really bitchy to me.
Yeah, well, like, because Sis was talking about Jack, and they were just having a conversation, and Christy, I felt like kind of stirred some things, like just kind of led the conversation into a certain direction, it kind of like triggering a little bit of Sis's insecurities, and then Sis starts asking, like, oh well, does he talk about his ex a lot? Like, what's happening there? And Christy answers with like the worst, like, and it's true. It's what I mean,
totally true. Yeah,
assuming he was talking about his ex in this conversation, but she was like, well, what did happen was that Jack called me his rock, and then he was like, oh no, wait a minute, my ex is my real rock. I need to make sure that she knows that. But Christy, you're my rock in the game, which is like just doubly. It's like, so you're not his rock in the game. That's me. And then in real life, it's his ex. But I'm sure he's still super interested. So Sis is like, well, that makes me feel a little dumb. That makes me feel a little bad.
As you should. I mean, like, I hope she realizes what she was doing, and I don't know that she does. She's so freaking young. But what she was doing when she got into bed, literally with Jack, that it was just a hookup, girl. That's all it was. He doesn't care about you. He just wanted to sleep with you. Like, do you not get that?
Yeah, and she's nervous to bring it up with Jack. She doesn't want to like offend him in any way or make things weird. Like her age is really showing in these conversations, in my opinion. She wants to know, like, because it's sort of brought up, like, do you have feelings for him? Like, are you interested, Christy?
No.
Like, because look, Christy, I'm willing to break it off with him if it'll ruin our friendship, because our friendship is more important. And this is what I'm like. Now both Jack and Sis have talked to Christy and said, I'm willing to break this off if you want me to. Like, who is this woman, and how does she have this power over these young people?
I don't know. I mean, I guess you have to credit her social game. I would, like, with Jack, it's a little bit more predictable to me because he is the stereotypical man that just wants a challenge, I feel like, when it comes to Christy. Ever since he found out that she likes girls, he's been on her like, white on rice. So I don't think there's much to be seen there. Insofar as her relationship with Sis and why they get along so great, I just think she's very motherly in the house. And, she is like, I don't know how, she's like 31 going on 45 with all that tanning she's been doing. So, I think they're buying that she's a little bit older.
But at the same time, like, they're talking about her like she's super desirable, and certainly Jack is like, oh man, when you wear that swimsuit, and she's like, look, I can't wear it all the time, it'll be too much, and he's like, yeah, it would be.
She's confident though. I think that's what it is.
I guess there's something going on there, because it's Jack, it's Sis, it's Holly. They all love her.
Yeah, they were talking about her pheromones last night.
Yes, that's what I was gonna bring up.
Yeah.
I was like, then I see they're talking about her pheromones. I'm like, maybe that's it. Maybe she's got some real straw. Do you ever watch what is it called? Perfume, A Story of a Murder, something like that. She's got the scent. It just lets her control people.
But I am aware of this phenomena, though, because there have been a few women in my life that they just smelled so good that even I was turned on by them. And I've never been with a woman in my life. I'm like a gold star gay. So they have this power. It smells like, I don't know, like if you could like take sex and bottle it, that's what they smell like. So I guess that must be what Christy's like. I don't know.
Must be something.
I wish we could get like the smell-o-vision from like the 1990s where we could like smell Christy, That would be good.
Yeah, maybe. So whatever she's doing, it's working for now. So Kat and Jess are going to have a conversation. This is really just confirming what we've been saying for a little while here, with some people hoping that Kat might be a vote for Cami. Kat says, Jess, I promise you're safe this week. Cami needs to go. I would never vote against you, Jess, no matter what. I love when people say things like this because it really helps me when I do my analysis.
Yeah, I know, right? Just craziness. By the way, Rob in the chat's like, and Sis has the opposite scent. I don't want to talk about Sis's scent, Rob. That's been a story of debate on Twitter. We don't talk about it.
Yes, well, see, okay. But this is something that happens, is that people start claiming that people don't take showers, and it's never something like... It's so hard to track that. Like, you need to be watching them all the time, and they're not on the feeds all the time. So I never know why people are so sure that people don't take showers. And then, I don't know, now there's controversy. Maybe she is taking showers, and people just haven't realized it. So,
yeah, like, people, like, tweet us. They DM me privately to tell me these things. Like, you should let your followers know that Annalise hasn't taken a shower in the past 36 hours. And I'm like... who are you and why do you care?
Yeah. It's like, I just don't, like, I don't know how these people, because I think apparently, like, Nick made a joke that you haven't showered, and so, like, people take that as, like, I guess, gospel. Very seriously. Yeah. And so I don't know. I think it's very difficult to know for sure. Tammy in the chat points out she certainly was in the shower 2 nights in a row. So that's one thing. So that's happening there. Let's see. Nicole is going to, as I mentioned, do some digging. Nick is going to talk to Sis about their hookups.
This one was so weird.
Yeah.
This was, like, on a scale of weird. It was just goofballs. Weird. It was just so odd. They were talking about their hookups and what was going on and what they did, and Sis was revealing to Nick what she had done, but she didn't reveal everything. So then Nick starts asking some probing questions, like, how far did you go? Did it hurt? And she responded affirmatively, and he's like, well, that's because his experience is so big. How does he know that Jack's experience is so big? I would like to know this. Although I did see on Twitter the other day a GIF of him, like, patting Jack's junk when it was, like, I don't know, like, randomly up or something. You all know what I'm talking about with this GIF. Anyway, look, I'm telling you what. I have clocked Nick, okay? He is a straight boy, 100%. However, I feel like he's the kind of straight boy that he'll put his vote in any port. So he doesn't really care. I feel like that's what's happening with him. Because he always flirts with Tommy, too. So, we'll see.
Who knows about that? But certainly a very, very strange conversation. Especially strange because of the tension from just a day or two ago,
right?
Where Nick was, like, jealous of what was happening with Jack and Sis, and so and now she's having a conversation explaining how big an experience it was for her, and, like, the positions that she was in, and how
I forgot about that, the positions and how they did it. I'm so mad that production didn't have a camera on the HOH room the first time that they did it. Like, they had a camera on for a while, but then they took the camera and switched it to something else. Like, because Sis didn't know that the feeds were on in the dark. So I'm kind of mad that this wasn't happening, because apparently they did it all over the place. And go ahead.
I'm starting to feel like, the meta for having sex on the feeds is that you do it under the covers, right? But I'm starting to feel like just do it out in the open, because they don't show it. But if you do it under the covers, they'll show the covers.
That's the thing. Yes, I realized this years ago, and I said if I ever got picked for the house, I would do it just out in the open, because they're not going to show it. Like, it's a family show. What the hell? They're not going to show it. By the way, Rob in the chat says that Nick, on the other hand, is advertising a pain-free experience. So, yes. Good for him. Well done.
Rob is having so much fun.
I haven't had a chance to listen to Summer of Stein yet, but I can't wait to.
But it's it's just such a strange conversation, and it's like, and Sis is aware that, and Sis has also flirted with Nick before, and I feel like there's also almost a little bit of this that's still a little flirty.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah, and they're still talking about, like, we're gonna protect each other in the game, and we'll always be here for each other as we talk about our hookups. And
it's so creepy when you think about the fact that this is Nick's first choice. Like, Bella is his second choice. Make no mistake. There I go, wagging my finger. Make no mistake that Bella is the second choice. Sis was his first choice. He is on her. He wants her. And that is what makes this entire conversation all the more creepy when they're having it.
Yeah. So, okay. So that's happening there. I will say this about Nick. Because Nick is also going to have a conversation with Bella, and he, I think, is also still very, like, I think that just because Nick, who still has kind of a weird thing with Sis, he also still is really into Bella. I do believe.
He's a whore. He's a slut, man. He is a whore. Look, I call the women out for this, so I'm equal opportunity, man. He is a freaking whore. He is just like, again, any port will do. I swear to God, that's what he's like. I know people like this, Taran. Okay. I am not one of them.
Well, he's still, like, he's talking to Bella about, like, hey, I would rather be on the block instead of you. I feel like I have a better chance of staying. Like, he is willing to really put his game on the line to protect Bella here. I do think he does, like, I think he's really just, like, he has a lot of love to give.
Yeah. And well, apparently not that much.
Emotional support.
Yeah.
So honestly, Nick is reminding me of how I felt talking about Swaggy comparisons about Swaggy last season, where I feel like Nick has a lot of potential in the game. I do. But I think he is just completely derailed by the relationship he has with Bella and the thing with Sis. Obviously, Swaggy only had the one, but that was still enough, in my opinion, to really derail Swaggy's game. Swaggy, he was a charismatic figure. He knew the game. He was. I think he could have been really good. He had his crew.
Yep.
Nick is the same. He's. I think he has potential. I think he knows the game.
Smart?
He's smart. He has a crew, but he's just so distracted by the women situation.
So the opposite sex. He can't get. He's girl crazy. Like I said on the podcast last night, totally girl crazy. Can't think straight.
So, what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
Christy is going to talk to Jack and let him know about her conversation with Sis. Again, stirring the pot here. Like, oh yeah, Sis, she says she felt really insecure about your relationship with me and all of this stuff. And Jack is just like, oh man, that insecurity stuff, that'll push me away real quick.
That's why he likes Christy. That's why he likes Christy, because she's so confident about herself. She doesn't need him. He wants that. By the way, just to alert people, we were alerted by Sis on the feeds last night. She is not on birth control right now. So, again, more smart decision-making by the CBS cast of Big Brother.
Yeah. Sis, I will say, so far, there's one redeeming quality about Sis.
Okay.
She says that if she's in the jury, she wants to vote for the person that did the most.
Okay. Did the most? What is... I'm trying to... I guess that's something rather than the person who did the least.
Right?
Yeah? All right. We'll see if we can hold her to that.
Yeah. I'm looking for things.
All right. And she's probably going to make jury. In fact,
honestly,
she's probably going to make
in my book, somebody that makes it to jury and is going to vote for the player that, like, actually played the game real hard, you're still better than anybody that goes in there and doesn't do that in my book. So we'll see.
We'll see.
All right. So Cami and Nicole are going to enact their plan part 2. more plotting to turn Jackson against Bella. Kemi's going to go to Jackson, and Nicole is going to go to Holly and bond even more. So Kemi goes to Jackson. She does exactly that. She tells him that, hey, Bella, she was the one that started this Black Widows thing, and then she ratted it out. And also, by the way, Bella told me about her alliance with you and Jack. Just saying that she told me about that. She's ratting everybody out. She is the one that's doing all of this stuff. And Jackson, he likes to eat. He eats a lot. And he's eating this up.
Yeah, it was very tough to tell watching this, and even afterward, how much of this was real and how much was it a real heart-to-heart with Jackson. I felt like, reading the room, that it was real. I felt like it was a real heart-to-heart, and that he accepted, for the most part, what Kemi was saying to him. Is that how you feel as well, Taran?
I do. I think that, and look, it was late at night.
Right.
He could wake up in the morning and feel differently. I don't think this necessarily means that he wants to protect Kemi or keep her in the game, but I do feel like he has been he's gone over the line here against Bella for the moment. I think he has been turned against Bella. I think that he was really eating what Kemi was saying in that moment. I should probably stop saying that because it sounds weird when I say it in that context, but
No, the other thing too, I'm glad that they decided to go after Bella. However, I don't know that clearing Jessica while you're on the block next to her is such a good thing. By them going to Jackson and saying, look, Bella was the one who started the Women's Alliance, I mean, that effectively, by default, clears Jessica, who you're on the block with, and the only reason that they would think of to evict Jessica, who was the only other option to evict at this point, is that she started the Women's Alliance, or that she was the primary cause of it. If you take away that blame, then why would you evict Jessica at all if she's, not threatening to the other house guests? So I wish that Kemi could have shaded this, BS a little bit differently, but overall, I still feel like it had a good effect.
And she was aware of that. She was like, why am I going to clear Jess's name? I think this is maybe, again, sort of Nicole is the one that proposed that they essentially clear Jess's name, and Kemi was like, why would I want to do that? Right. And Nicole's like, no, trust me, because it's good for Nicole if that happens. But also, I do think that this is the best plan for Kemi. I mean, she's looking at a brick wall anyway, so she might as well turn and find a new wall, right? So I think that if Kemi can sell that she is anti-Bella and that she really just hates Bella, she has no more connections in the house. Yeah. Whereas Jess does have a connection to Kat. Jess still will probably try to, be pro-women and try to make women's alliances. Meanwhile, if Kemi is focused on taking the shot at Bella and Nick, for the six shooters,
they'd be happy to have her do it.
Exactly. And so this is, I think, the only way that she can potentially survive. There's still a long way to go, but it is still only Tuesday, and we do have a Thursday eviction this week. So I think the door has opened. There's a crack there. There's a beacon of hope.
I do too. She has to make it a clean break, though. The people who are in control cannot feel like they are being played by Kemi on this one. She cannot just go and have girl talk with Bella like she used to if she's going to do a Godfrey from Big Brother Canada-esque play, and maybe not quite so vehemently, but effectively call her out and be like, look, I'm coming for the bitch. That's why I want to be here. I want her head. Like, if they can convince, if Kemi can convince the majority alliance that is what she intends on doing, I do think that there's a chance that she could stay. And I agree with this, that, I'm contradicting what I said before, but only because I'm trying to show two sides of the coin. On one side, you have a path that is a little bit maybe safer, but really it's not going to upset things. And the natural balance of the game right now is that Kemi's going home. So she really does need to go for the Hail Mary here. Or if you want to call it Hail Mary, or the long pass, and the same thing, whatever, Brent, sorry. And say that she's going after Bella, which is not something she would have said 48 hours ago.
Yeah. And I don't want to get people's hopes up too much. I think this is a situation where previously I saw like there was the path that was being trod on. It was not a good one. I did not see a good end to it, and it hadn't even really been walked down. And instead, Cami has kind of turned and she sees a different path. And I think this path is more promising. But again, hasn't really walked down it too much. There's still there's no flip in the air yet. It's just that the possibility has opened up. And so, and that's better than things were before. So Nicole is going to talk to Holly. She does a thing where she was talking to Nick the night before, I believe, where Nick was trying to ask her who she would put on the block if she won HOH, and she would not give him any names, smartly. And Nick said, "Oh, you'd probably put up somebody like Holly." And so Nicole is going to go to Holly and say, "Hey," in just kind of like bonding session, just talking. "Hey, I just want to let you know that Nick was trying to get out of me who I would put on the block, and I did not tell him your name, but he said just like, oh, you would probably put up Holly. So in case that gets back to you, I just want to let you know like that is not true." And this, again, very smart way to not only gain a little bit of trust with Holly, but spin it in a way that it goes against Nick. And at the same moment, Cami is spinning against Bella. And so Holly, when she gets back together with Jackson after these conversations, is going to say, "I just had a great conversation with Nicole. She told me about this stuff with Nick." Jackson is like, "Yeah, Cami told me about this stuff with Bella." And they both agree that they need to go talk to Jack in the morning about what they've learned about Bella and what to do moving forward with this information. So that's what I said. The possibility is open.
Yes,
Yeah.
I like the timing of this as well. The fact that it's starting on a Monday night, the eviction's on Thursday. Something like this is going to need a little bit of time to bloom. So I do enjoy the timing where if it comes to fruition, and I'm still saying it's probably not going to happen, but if it does, it's going to bloom at just the right time, like Wednesday night, right before it needs to happen.
Yes. So like I said, I'm liking what I'm seeing here. I really enjoy watching Nicole work. She's working multiple sides. Like, again, she's helping Cami here, but she's also benefiting herself, because even if this doesn't save Cami, it is still contributing toward an overall crack in the foundation of a big group, and that's what she's looking for. And I definitely, given how successful she's been so far, have faith that she would be able to make something work once that happens. So some good stuff coming down the pipeline, I think.
Yeah, and you know, I don't know overall what the true intentions of some of these people are, but I think the game is fluid enough right now that Cami could certainly get the votes on her side. There are, as it stands right now, a few people that would rather keep her anyway. I don't, you know, Nick was one of those people, and I don't know that that would stand if he realized that she was going to probably put Bella and or Nick up on the block as a pawn to evict Bella. But I do feel like there are people besides them that would want to keep Cami, and if they can get the Jacks on board for it, I do feel like that it's possible.
Exactly. So to count votes here, because people were asking me to do that. I think the way forward is if Cami is able to sway Jackson, Jackson is able to sway Jack. Getting the Jacks on board means that you get 6 shooters on board. So you have Jackson, Holly, Sis, Christy, Tommy. That's 5. You need 6 votes. Obviously, then she would also have Nicole. That's 6. Then I would imagine that 6 shooters would be able to get Nick and Bella on board. They were already kind of willing to do that. If Cami is publicly anti-Bella, they might be less likely to do that, but Jess is also anti-Bella, so it's not the worst decision in the world there. And Nick and Bella have already conceded to keeping the anti-Bella person over the pro-Bella person before, in keeping Jess over Cami. And so now if the alliance decides to switch things over, they, I think, would again be forced to just capitulate to what the larger group wants. So I do believe that if they are able to get the Jacks, get the 6 shooters over onto on board with keeping Cami, that would happen. I do think that there might be some trouble. I think they could get the Jacks, but then they might have trouble with unfortunately the real power in the house, Christy and Tommy. Yeah. I don't think they have a lot of vested interest, no matter in either person.
That's my hope.
Yes. But I do think they have a little bit of interest. Christy is not the biggest Cami fan right now, and Tommy has given his word to Jess at the moment, and he has expressed interest in keeping Jess around. He feels he has a good connection with her. So if it's a tenuous thing and they're just like, well, we're not sure, it could go either way, then Tommy and Christy could throw some words in to shoot it down. So it's like I said, the possibility is open. There's still a long way to go, but we do have some time, so we'll see.
Yep, the game is afoot, Taran.
Yes. All right, I think that's what we have for you. Brent, anything else you wanted to talk about?
I think we're good. No wishes this week. I'm just going to let and see how things play out for Thursday night because as Taran correctly notes, with Cam comeback in play, there's not a lot to hope for. So let's pin our hopes on 2 weeks from Thursday. Maybe something fun will happen then.
Yes. All right. That's what we have for you. Make sure you find me on Twitter at Armstrong Taran. You can find Brent at OneLuckyGay. I will be back tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Eastern with none other than Rob Sesternino to update you.
Oh, tomorrow?
Yes.
Oh, very cool. Oh,
and
by the way, I think we announced on the show last night, but I'm going to be on the Wednesday show. Can we announce who is joining us on the Wednesday show?
Yes, with Michelle Costa.
Michelle Costa, the Portuguese princess from Providence, is coming on RHAP on Wednesday night. I am very psyched about that. I will be with her on Wednesday. And by the way, Caitlin Herman will be joining us for the first time this year on Thursday. And I believe Melissa will be with her. So that will be a fun night with the girls. I'm excited to watch that.
Yes, lots of great stuff heading here. Rob on an update tomorrow. You got Michelle Costa. You got Caitlin. So even if this week has not been the best so far, we've got some great coverage heading your way.
The podcasts are amazing, if I do say so.
So thank you so much for joining us. Of course, also you can join me on Thursday on twitch.tv/Taran Armstrong, where I'm going to go over my stock watch picks, and we'll have some other people to go over the pricings and all of the good stuff that happens there. It's a lot of fun, so check that out as well, and I'll see you next time.